that allow MSMEs to thrive. Across Kenya and the wider continent, MSMEs are foundational to local economies. They offer entry points for young people, women, and informal workers. Their size and agility allow them to adapt quickly to change and serve underserved populations, often where no formal systems reach. We recognize the challenges they face, especially with the issues around climate shocks, input costs, and some of the incidences. And let me say at this moment, Your Excellency, we see some of the incidents like what we've observed in the country in the last 2 days, where small businesses remain at risk of being left behind. Our hearts really goes out to those business owners and employees who are affected by these situations. Ladies and gentlemen, here in Kenya, the United Nations recognizes that supporting MSMEs is key to unlocking broader progress. Just allow me to share some of our collective results. Through our collective efforts, nearly 5 million people have benefited from skills development and lifelong learning initiative. This includes young entrepreneurs, informal workers, and marginalized groups. In addition, I would like to state that more than 3,500 refugees have also been trained in trades such as welding and mechanics and opening new enterprises. And we also really support and we really acknowledge what the Kenya government has done in supporting MSMEs. And we recognize and have been there to support the prior learning policy, which I think is a very powerful tool, which has allowed over 1,200 informal workers to have their skills certified. This not only opened doors to higher value opportunities, but helps to close formal recognition within these enterprises. So the UN is collaborating with Kenya and our partners, governments such as the Swedish, Canadian, the Rockefeller Foundations, the MasterCard Foundation, in seeing how to create more opportunities and ensuring that no one is left behind. To conclude, allow me to close and leave you with 3 reflections. First, why does Africa continue to record some of the highest returns on investment globally? Yet our entrepreneurs face some of the highest costs of capital and most risk-averse lending environments. Secondly, how do we harness Africa's digital momentum to support small businesses in rural and informal economies, not just through apps, but through equity in access and digital literacy? And thirdly, how do we build smarter, more coordinated partnerships that maximize every shilling invested in MSMEs, and those at the bottom of the economic pyramid? I would like to say with these 3 questions, and I really, Your Excellency, for the first time I had the opportunity of standing next to you and seeing how you engage businesses, how you engage the partners in government, and see how do we connect the dots and make things happen for MSMEs. I want to congratulate you for this. It was an excellent observation. I will go back and share and say that, you know, these practical steps are the steps that are going to bring change for our country. I thank you so much, and asanteni sana. Thank you very much. And Your Excellency, I bring you the warmest greetings of Dr. Stephen Jackson, our resident coordinator, along with the heads of agencies, including the head of FAO, Madam Tipo, who were not able to make it, but they send their warmest regards to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bwana Tito. Your Excellency, we also have the International Labour Organization represented. And allow me at this point to now call on Caroline Njoki, the Chief Technical Advisor, to also make some brief remarks. Tumpigie makofi akija. Welcome.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, CS, MSME and Cooperatives, Wycliffe Oparanya, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please allow me to ride on protocols already established. The International Labour Organization is the UN agency for the world of work. In his message on World MSME Day, the Director General of the ILO highlights the critical role of MSMEs as engines of economic growth, innovation, catalysts of social justice, and decent work. And Your Excellency, you have just experienced some of the great innovations that the MSMEs are exhibiting today. Globally, MSMEs generate employment for 2.3 billion people, particularly for women, youth, and marginalized communities often excluded from formal economic structures. In Kenya, this number is up of 90%. You would all agree that's quite substantive. MSMEs are crucial in advancing inclusive growth, productive employment, and decent work. In fact, we cannot speak about employment creation in any country around the world without the critical role of the MSMEs. Addressing barriers that hinder MSMEs from playing an even more impactful role is at the heart of the ILO's mandate and work in Kenya. And some of these, of course, have already been mentioned: access to affordable finance, the digital divide, shortage of skilled human capital, and poor working conditions due to the high levels of informality. SMEs, as my colleague from the UN just spoke, are also more vulnerable in times of crisis like what was experienced this week. What, therefore, are we doing to support MSME growth in Kenya, Your Excellency? One is supporting the governance frameworks for the SME sector, including the MSME policy that is now going through public participation, the State Department strategic plan, which will be launched later today. And we are also supporting cooperatives, because cooperatives and MSMEs are interlinked, as evidenced by the mandate of the ministry that you have set up. The ILO has supported the Kenya Cooperative Sector Transformation Strategy, which has shaped the State Department strategy and the review of the bill and regulations. Two, we are working on business development. Contrary to popular belief, not everyone can run a business. We need the tools to be able to do that and do it successfully so that there is scale and subsequently employment creation. The ILO has the world's most widely used entrepreneurship training model in the world. It is called the Start and Improve Your Business. This tool meets entrepreneurs where they are, at the point of thinking of a business idea or at the point of growth. We've rolled out a network of trainers with key business support institutions, including the Chamber of Commerce, the Women Enterprise Fund, etc. And so that these trainers support existing funding frameworks, whether it's the Hustler Fund, etc. And these we also accompany with financial literacy, so that when people get their Hustler Fund, when they fully at whatever time, that this is actually going towards not just consumerism, but also growth of business. We are also supporting transitions from informality to formality, working closely with the Juakali Federation, the Chambers of Commerce. At the county level, we are providing capacity building on the how, because we talk about formalization, but as a small business with one person, two people, what are the concrete steps that I take to formalize? So we are making it easier to understand and sort of handhold businesses on their formalization journey. Ultimately, formalization of businesses opens up doors to accessing finance, increased productivity, access to markets, and more, but also very importantly, decent jobs. In collaboration with the TVET ecosystem in Kenya, we are supporting responsive skills development so that MSMEs have the talent they need. If we are pressing oil, do we actually know how to press it? And do we have substantial talent to develop that? Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, The ILO commits to sustain its technical and financial support to Kenya's MSME sector towards more and decent jobs. Happy World MSME Day and asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, Ms. Njuki. Your Excellency, we'll now transition to the panel discussion. But before that, Your Excellency, sir, Embu University have a song that they wrote specifically for MSMEs, known as Biashara Ndogo. So at this point, I'll ask that the choir stand up and present the song. The song is Biashara Ndogo. And Your Excellency, this is of course in cognizance with how intentional you are with the creative economy. And therefore, we thought it would be prudent to give them a chance and an opportunity to present their song. So Embu University Choir, Biashara Ndogo. Asante sana, Embu University Choir. At this point, Your Excellency, allow me to invite PS Susan Mangeni, who will then introduce her panel and transition to the panel discussion. We can welcome her with a clap. Karibu, Madam PS.
Thank you, Your Excellency, the President of the Republic of Kenya, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, my Waziri, FCPA, Dr. Wycliffe Ambecha Oparanya, the UN representative of the UN resident coordinator, representative of ILO, my strategic partner in the State Department, Kenya Association of Manufacturers, who are our takers, Kenya Bankers Association, Jua Kali na mahasla, mjambo. Your Excellency, allow me just to recognize my colleagues whom I work with closely. They support me in this ecosystem. All PSs who are here with us kindly stand up so that I can get to recognize you. So we have PS Hinga. He's my biggest market in the affordable housing. Makofi kwake. Thank you, PS Charles. Then we have PS Ololotwa. Huyo ni tourist attraction mkubwa. We have PS for Trade, Dr. Regina, and she will be today sharing with us on how to access these huge markets across the country, across the world. Okay, I think we hit several others. So, Your Excellency and all protocols observed, we are humbled. Biashara ndogo, vile tumeambiwa na choir ya kutoka Embu University. We met this choir about 3 weeks ago during the MSME Connect initiative that the ministry, the able leadership of my waziri here, has initiated, bringing the public sector together with the public and private sector so that we can have the dialogue that you encouraged us sometime last year around this time, that we need to activate dialogues across all the sectors of the economy, and we took up that challenge and we're doing. So I am here because I'm happy, because this is the first time ever in the history of this country that we are having such a high level celebration of this day that was founded about 9 years ago. We feel so much humbled, we feel privileged. Ama ni aje mahaslas? Si ndio hivyo? Si mumekaa na rais? Si mumefurahi? Kuna vile anatufeel, si ndio? Anatufeel. So, but what you expect of this day today is that we have an ecosystem, and we want to thank you, because when a story will be told of this administration, 1,000 years to come, the biggest chapter and the largest chapter in that story will be your renewed focus and the increased attention that you have given to the sector of MSME. Do you agree with me? Because by designating a whole ministry and your leadership since independence just to focus mambo MSME, asubuhi naamka MSME, saa saba naamka MSME, jioni naamka MSME, it shows that indeed you meant it when you say we needed to change on how we develop this country and start focusing on building our economy from the bottom of the economic pyramid, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. So we are here today with an ecosystem to celebrate our MSMEs, but we also stand in solidarity with them, because our MSMEs are faced with a number of shocks. Of course, the sad events that happen the other day is not something that we can go without talking about. I know there's so many businesses that have now gone under. Somebody somewhere has lost a job. Somebody somewhere will go into depression and might even lose his or her life because of the distraction that happened there. So biashara ndogo ni nguvu. Sisi tunaomba tu wakitafuta mambo yao, pia sisi watupatie nafasi tufanye mambo yetu. And I leave that to other actors in the ecosystem who will talk about it. But it is really sad. But we also celebrate you. Today we are going to share opportunities which are there. We take stock of what we've done, the government, the private sector, the development partners, and our endeavors in establishing a very supportive ecosystem that will promote growth and development of our MSME. So while doing that also, we are going, Your Excellency, for the first time to launch the inaugural State Department strategic plan, which is a master plan. It's actually a master plan because of the level of participation, the input that has come from across the MSME sector. ILO have spoken about it. We had everybody making input. So it's going not just a strategic plan for the State Department, but it's going to guide and inform the MSME sector, the ecosystem, on what we need to do to support MSME. So we expect to launch, and we are privileged that you will be launching our strategic plan. And therefore, in recognition of the robust ecosystem, and they are willing to support us, allow me now to invite my panel, and it's a dialogue. Your Excellency, this is a dialogue. At some point, we may actually ask you also, because you also to share with us what your government, what our government has in store for MSME. So allow me to ask the first panel to walk on the stage representative from CEO for come, please. It's a 30 minutes. It's a dialogue. You challenge us to dialogue, every economic sectors to engage in some sort of dialogue. His name is Tobias Orlando. Makofi kwake. Allow me to call in the CEO for Kenya Bankers Association. Makofi. Allow me also to call in the representative, the gentleman in charge of SME banking, Equity Bank. Where are you? Makofi. Allow me to call in the PS for housing, my biggest market ever in the last 2 years. PS Charles Hinga. Allow me also to invite the PS for trade, who will help us to see how do we facilitate trade to happen across borders. Dr. Regina. Then, last but not least, the Juakali Nguvu. Karibu, Nguvu Kazi. The CEO for Juakali. I didn't realize sina kiti hapa. But ni sawa tu. So this is a reflection of the ecosystem, but also in the plenary, we also going to have a few interjection, and this thank you for that. So we will have a few interjection, especially from the development partners and MSMEs themselves. So here, I don't have any particular order, but we are here to renew our commitment for the MSME sector. I have government here, and then I have also private sector here. I want to begin by Kenya Bankers Association. And my question to you is that the ecosystem to be complete, we must unlock access to affordable credit. If you look at the events that happened 2 days ago, we have MSMEs who have been crying. I had just taken a loan of 2 million. Everything has come down. How am I going to recover? What can you tell that MSME?
Yeah, thank you. You're 25. And lastly, we're also working with the central bank just to be able to ensure that the loans from banks are affordable. We have had an assessment which doesn't lead to those affordable rates. So currently, we are the tail end with central bank to be able to ensure that we have an assessment tool to assess you better and ensure that you can be able to get affordable credit from our local banks. Thank you.
Thank you. And to All right. So from Equity, you know, Equity is known for having been among the first financial institution to deepen financial inclusion. Our recent conversation with Dr. Mwangi, who is the group CEO for Equity, revealed that it's only 60% of your financing goes to business. Only 6% of your financing. So most of those loans are going for other personal users. What do you think we are not doing? So what do we need to do to now deepen credit inclusion, transition from financial inclusion to credit inclusion, so that wananchi hawa MSMEs wetu mashujaa can get access to loans, to affordable credit to do business?
Thank you, Madam PS.